Arteta and the boys have had to say in the aftermath of the Everton game, people. So let's do exactly that. What's the point wasting any more time, people? Sharing my screen with you lot. Mikel Arteta has said Arteta feels there's still more to come. Specifically, the gaffer said, I'm really happy with the performance and the win. It wasn't perfect because of the first 20-25 minutes, something I said as well. We had some difficulties and we generated some frustrations. We allowed some opportunities for the opponent to run without creating much. After that, we picked up the game and understood better what we had to do. Pardon me, I don't think anyone can disagree with that. We were more efficient, much better in the counter press, as you saw when we got the second goal via Saka and Martinelli, and regaining the ball straight away. I think once we scored the goals in crucial moments just before half time, the team was full of confidence and played a great game in the second half. He then said, on cohesion and things like that, on our cohesion up front, it's lovely to see the relationships building up front. That's something we're going to need to create a lot of opportunities against this block is really difficult, because when we find openings, we have to be clinical and ruthless. I think the way Bukayo scored the first goal, it was top, it was amazing. And for me, again, check out the tactical review coming out at 1 p.m, people. Zinchenko, key role. I love the Zinchenko has made that happen, not just the assist. He's taken the ball from the center of the field, done a little dance. I think he's given it to Martinelli. Benjamin White's got it. He's taken it back from him. And Martinelli hasn't just admired his great pass. He's kept it moving. He's pulled out to the right because Saka's gone into the center of the field. And what I liked with them two young players, you could hear them screaming at Zinchenko for the ball. Obviously, Zinchenko does what he does. We scored the goal, so it was epic, and it weren't a bad finish from Bukayo Saka with his right peg. I want to see that more often. Probably took Pickford by surprise there. So yeah, he's right. It's obviously really important to bounce back the way we've done it, winning in a convincing way with very strong performances, 2 away victories and a home victory today. Amen. 9 points up for grabs. We've collected 9 points, really and truly. Saka's joy at seeing us score 4 times. Our star boy said, I'm really happy. We went there a few weeks ago and we lost, so we knew going into the game how difficult it would be to score 4 goals and play like that. We can be so proud of ourselves. I think his goal was my first chance of the game. Yeah, we didn't really test Pickford early on, and it was the breakthrough. After setting, I just had to focus on my touch, turning my body and myself going onto my right foot and finishing. I looked up and it was in the net, so I was happy. I'm happy to hit double figures. It's something I always set myself to try and improve. I'm hungry to achieve more. Amen. Keep going. He then said, on the goal, people said, I looked at Gabby, we looked at each other, we sort of said to each other that it was offside and went to continue the game. So we saw that it wasn't. It was a big relief, and we were happy to go in 2-0 up. I mean, with VAR, I know it does us dirty, but what I would say, at Arsenal, we need to be probably a bit dirtier. We're probably too honest. Martinelli needs to be like Maradona, celebrate. If you don't believe it's a goal, how can they? It's nice to see that they've bothered to draw the lines in this game. Just a pity it wasn't against Brentford, or we'd have 2 extra points on the board. But it is what it is, people, We're all chipping in. As you saw, all the front 4 chipped in some capacity. Saka scored and got an assist. Martinelli got 2 goals. Odegaard scored. Trossard, unfortunate not to have a goal after obviously having a goal ruled out against Leicester. Got an assist. Eddie and Nketiah off the bench as well, doing what he needs to do. And also strong performances, I feel, from Thomas Partey off the bench. I think Granit kind of getting back to his best based on that game. Zinchenko ran the show. Big up Gabriel and Saliba, and also Ramsdale and the little he had to do. It's a team collective performance, and everybody did well, man. Simple as that. We're all chipping in and we're all doing our best for the team, because it's always better like that. We're happy with that. He went on to say, people, definitely, because it gives us a bigger gap. We know that this game has passed now. We focus on Saturday, because if we don't win there, tonight's win will have been for nothing. That's our focus now. Can't disagree with what the gaffer or what our star boy has said, people. Continuing the theme, let's see exactly what Mikel. I got 2 of the same post here. Let's see what Mikel Arteta has had to say in full on the delightment of the result. We've kind of covered that, people. We didn't see this though. We needed a magic moment then. Alex and Bukayo produced that, and then I think the team grew, especially with Thomas, because Jorginho wasn't feeling good today. When he came on, he really gave us some presence and stability to the team. I think the second half was superb. I don't think anyone can disagree. On our resilience and mental strength, the gaffer says, when you look at them every single day, you just feel how much they want it, how much they really want to produce what we asked them to do, how much they want to please our people. I had no doubts that we were going to turn things around in performances and results, in the small details that make you win or not win. But I'm really pleased with where the team is right now. On Martinelli and Saka hitting double figures, it's a credit to them, because in the end, they have to do it themselves. But we try to help them with our way of playing by trying to get them in those positions as much as possible. They are so willing to learn. They are asking for more and more every single day, and they have They never have enough information. They want more. They want the space. They want to practice. And at the end, you have to do that. You have the talent that they have and the ideas that they have. At the end, good things will happen. On Zinchenko's importance on and off the field, that's why we brought him here, because he brings us something different to the team. His mentality and his quality to do certain things allows us to be unpredictable and to generate a lot of threat every time we are in ball possession. He's played those kind of games against low blocks 200 times, and that's very helpful. When you've got a 4-5-1 against Everton, and obviously, you know, they're going to, for a large part of the first 20 minutes, you know, Saka, Odegaard, all these guys, when they were getting in possession, they were, you know, they were snapping at their heels early. They were forcing us backwards. Zinchenko is a bit of a floater, obviously. More so when Partey came on, you saw the Zinchenkos, the Trossards, the Martinellis, the Sakas, the Odegaards. They were all rotating in space. He's picking up other areas, but that's what Zinchenko gives us. He's a false left back, really, if that is even a term, really. He then said on Martinelli's understanding with Trossard, ballers can always play with ballers. Don't matter what language you speak, what country you speak. If you're a baller and you know someone has the capacity to play certain passes, you do it. And one thing I liked about Martinelli yesterday and in general, he thinks when a ball, you know, he doesn't just sit and admire the picture. If the ball's over on the left-hand side and he's in the center of the pitch, he's going to make that darting third man run. Like you saw, it didn't come off all the time against Everton, and his decision-making can be better, but you saw that. Smash the like button, people. I think relationships are built in teams and the chemistry comes naturally. And when you see him with Fabio play more, he has even more chemistry because they love each other so much. Why? And they have that way of looking at each other and understanding what's going to have. I think they mean happen. He's also building that with Leandro, obviously Trossard, and he's feeling a bit more freedom to move into certain areas. And now his confidence is high again. He's scoring goals, he's assisting goals, and he's in a good mood. On Zinchenko and Saka's link up once again, people. It was a bit of magic. He said, I'm going to do it on the pitch. I'm not going to wait for someone else to do it. When you have a few players with the willingness and the capacity to do that, you have a better chance to win more games. When asked on if Martinelli and Vieira's chemistry potentially being utilized in the coming weeks, he said, yes, for sure. With the Europa League in the games, there is probably going to have to be some rotation of some sorts, people. Big up Bukayo Saka. That was his 50th goal involvement, people. As I've just seen on Twitter, on an alert on my phone. On if Arsenal are the favourites to win the league, I don't check the league table. In August, we probably wasn't. You know, some people might not even had us in the top 4. I just know the target was European football and I'll go as far as we can in the Europa League. If we were to win the league title, what fan in this Premier League wouldn't want that? But let's just keep working hard. I don't think now's the time to discuss anything about titles. There's 13, 14 games left. We have to be, you know, in many ways, being second is being first where Manchester City are concerned. You know, they are the favourites. They've been there and done it, and we're a new team and learning. I've learned from the school of Arsene Wenger there. You know my answer there. What I like is that everyone has the enthusiasm to do it, and we're not going to stop that. We have to promote that, but the way to promote that is by looking at this game, understanding that we have to do a lot of things better, especially in the first half. Amen. We can play better and make sure we prepare really well against Bournemouth because that's going to be a tough game. On no one envisioning where we'd be, you know, at the start of the season, I think we are here because we work, how we work, and we have really good players. Amen. Same way negatively when things are going wrong, the table doesn't always tell the truth, but it doesn't lie. It doesn't lie right now. We've done what we've needed to do, and we're bearing the fruits of the labor. So credit to Mikel Arteta, the technical staff, the transfer staff, and also the players as well. Because as much as new signings, you know, in January, Jorginho and Trossard have added something. Zinchenko and Jesus have added something. It's also about the players you have at the club. And Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey when played, Gabriel, Saliba, Benjamin White, Ramsdale, Zinchenko, even players off the bench, and many names I didn't say. Everybody has stood up to be counted. You're only as strong as your weakest man, and we're doing all right in that regard. So keep doing what we're doing. We have an incredible connection with our people, so everything adds to the table, and we have to continue to do that. He said, with my players, I'm going to control what they do in the next hour or so. They are better when relation into the title, people. On the key to reducing any tension, it's about expectation. The less games, you need the points to win the league, and just to focus when you can control and what you have to do, and let the rest happen naturally because it's something that nobody else can control. On Eddie Nketiah limping post game, I never saw that. Hopefully he's fine. He ended the game well, but he has been carrying a little thing. On the players being relentless, it's something that we have to train and discuss and build. It's not easy, but a lot of the time it happens for experiences, and most of the time they are experiences that you don't want to go through, which is true, and we've been through that on occasion. You know, as much as I think VAR did us dirty against Man United away, against Southampton away, against Brentford, obviously at home. If we move away from that, did we do enough to win the game? No, because similar to Leicester, we did do enough, and we're just moaning about, you know, Trossard not getting a goal and us potentially not having a penalty. So there's always something you can do better. So yeah, he's right in that regards, man. Sometimes, and then he went on to say that you don't want to go through, but the calendar and fixtures are going to give that. Sometimes you are where we are now. Sometimes it's 3 points, 2 points, -2. It's going to happen, and we have to live with that. Don't think anyone can disagree with what the manager has said there. Afternoon, Cam, big up yourself. DSS, big up yourself. Shout out to Zinni. Caused bare problems for the Toffees. Them killer passes through to Saka and Martinelli. It was crazy, man. They drew a straight line on the correct defender. Will wonders never cease. I don't know what's going on there, man. I don't know what's going on. Riley, shout yourself. Learning what we had to do. Keywords from Mikel. The way to beat the block is to keep playing against it until we can handle it comfortably. Mikel commented Zinni has played against that 200 times. You would do being at City. As my man Skyter said, smash the like button. Keep your opinions coming, people. Make sure you're hitting the like button. You're commenting. You're commenting after the live stream if you're watching this on the replay. These things boost the algorithm to grow our platform. Saka about to do double on double, Haaland demons, you know. And the one bad mark about this season is that Smith Rowe's not been about. Sky Sports did an article on Martin Odegaard, and I'm a big fan of Martin Odegaard. It's time to spread some propaganda. Why do some players seem to have more time than others? Because they think the best footballers are the best thinkers. You know, Modric, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, historically, Mesut Ozil, propaganda. Yeah, they've got fantastic technical vision and things, but they see the picture before it's happened. The best footballers do things before they've actually received the ball, whether you're a midfielder, whether you're a striker, etc., etc., etc. Again, Saka's goal was a fantastic finish. But again, it's off the ball. Here, Martinelli, they're moving. Zinchenko, way before that's even happened, he's asked for the ball. In fact, Zinchenko, he's unfortunate not to have one assist, really, only have one assist because he ran the show. You know, Zinchenko was amazing for Saka's goal. He was quality in the build-up for obviously Eddie and Nketiah getting an assist. He was near enough perfect, man. Partey should have had an Arsenal assist of the season, Freddie, as well. But nonetheless, let's see what's going on. In 2013, a study of 55 midfielders revealed that those with a higher scan rate also had a higher forward pass completion rate. Common sense. There was a direct correlation between pass success and having a better overview of your surroundings before receiving the ball. Common sense. Scrolling all the way down, I want to see specifically with what's going on with Mikel Arteta, with Martin Odegaard. Can't lie, let's air all of that. Let us begin with the numbers that mark him out as decisive. Odegaard ranks among the top 10 players in the Premier League this season for both goals scored and assists provided. He's got 9. Madman. Challenge him to score more, and he went off the ball for a couple of weeks. You know, there's no reason Martin Odegaard, if you know, again, as I've said, based on the minutes Martinelli's playing, based on what Saka is doing. You know, Eddie, again, whether you're achievable to do it or not, Trossard in the minutes you played adjustable, but you should all be aiming for 10 goals, 10 assists. Smith Rowe when fit. Again, adjusted expectations. Odegaard's got the capacity to get a minimum 10 goals, 10 assists and achieve better, really and truly. You know, for goals in the Premier League, he ranks 10th with 9. He ranks 4th for Premier League assists with 6. Chances created, he's 4th with 56. Passes completed in the final third, he's 2nd, 403. Possession won in the final third, he's 1st with 33. And again, that's testament to how he, you know, defensively he actually helps us, even though that's not a skill set of his. And that's another reason why I like to watch the games, because it's a bit like Mesut Ozil in that you don't always see Martin Odegaard and what he does, especially with the space he occupies. It's not always about making a getting into a yard of space to receive the ball. Sometimes you pull opponents apart, and I think that was a big reason as to why Everton fell apart in the second half, really, beyond the obvious. The Arsenal captain has formed partnerships all over the pitch, connecting those around him, making sure that it all flows. There is the clever interplay with Bukayo Saka on the right, but there's also that switch to Martinelli or Xhaka on the left. Odegaard operates in the same half space as Kevin De Bruyne on the right side of the centre, but he is, as Mikel Arteta puts it, a very different player. He's cuter in those tight spaces, a five-a-side nightmare. Think of the dragon scoop that he did for Lewis Dunk at Brighton. I mean, Odegaard's a baller. When he does the flip-flap, when he does the passes, he's lit, man, and his potential is limitless. It's got to that point where I think Odegaard wants to improve. He plays well, but if he really wants it, he could be serious. And it's like with Ronaldo and Messi. The coach can only, I'm not saying he's them man's level, but the coach can only tell you so much. If he really wants it, I do think people sleep on Odegaard's ceiling at this club, really and truly, and they have kind of been. But anyways, in the 4-0 win over Everton, there were more of these moments to say. He scored, of course, but those leaving the stadium might also recall the passage of late playing the game where he slid with his left foot rising again in one motion to stop the ball with his right. And we all saw that 50-50 against Iwobi. We all saw, again, the goal he scored, it's a collective team move. But if you go and look at Xhaka's making the run, Odegaard's on the right-hand side, he's making the run. And you don't arrive in the box, you're not going to score. And it's nice to see collectively we're sharing goals, because no matter how we put it, there's Sean Dyche and Mikel Arteta don't play the same football, for example, but fundamentally, you will need to get 3 points. You need to keep whatever your tactics are, whether it's Pep, whether it's Sean Dyche, whether it's Arteta, whether it's Wenger, Ferguson, whatever. You can do what you want. But the premise is you need to score more than your opponent and you need to defend better than your opponent because that's how you win games. You don't do that, you're in issues. So it's lovely to see people. Odegaard has the skill set of a showboater. When I think of Odegaard, I think of intelligence. When I think of Martinelli, I think savage. When I think of Odegaard, I think intelligence. When I think of Saka, I just think Starboy. When I think of Xhaka, I think committed. But yeah, but there's always seems to be a practical purpose to it. The slide was actually the most effective way of retaining possession. So too was his quick shift of the ball from left to right to set up Saka's goal at Man United. Technically, there are a few better at the engine room where there is none. When given space, he can just smash it into the bottom corner as he did against Tottenham. He has emerged as a leader too. Arteta calls him a humble, hungry player with incredible quality who puts that quality to the service of the team. He's always willing to do things for others and is a great role model for the rest of the players and staff. And you can see why he's a gaffer. The captain, and the gaffer made him that. There was an example of that at Aston Villa recently. His late miss in that game. I mean, he could have Everton as well. A couple of weeks, Odegaard, you could have bagged some. That game with the scores level could have proved costly. Odegaard dragged his shot wide of the post with the goal gaping. He sank to his knees, then proceeded to drive Arsenal on for the winner. It felt like a significant moment in the season, and though Odegaard was not involved directly in the third goal, his calming influence at 24 is crucial. Just the feeling, the way he moves, says Mikel Arteta. What he transmits on the pitch is different. And he's right, man. Odegaard covers more ground than any other Arsenal player. I mean, you'd imagine your midfielders need to. He has one possession back for his team in the attacking third of the pitch more times than any other player in the Premier League this season. Central to how we press, really. On another day, you like how Saka and Odegaard picked the pocket of Gay, it would be Odegaard or Jesus or anyone else. He's defining games, having a different presence on the pitch. His attitude, his willingness to learn, and his application is always incredible. When you have those ingredients, normally good things happen. Scrolling all the way down, people. Scrolling all the way down. Apparently, Odegaard provided one of the assists of the season against Brighton. Yeah, he did. It'd be interesting to see assists of the season from Arsenal. When you talk about people seeing pictures, Odegaard knows what he's doing before the ball comes, says former Arsenal man Paul Merson. He knows what he's going to do. He's probably the only player on the pitch who sees that. It was a pass that was hard to spot from the stands, let alone pitch level, one that required helicopter vision. But of course, Martin Odegaard saw it. For the playmaker supreme who practices at 120% speed, this game can seem like it's in slow motion. That's true. And I would say in terms of intelligence or best passers in this team, it's between Odegaard and Zinchenko slightly. Jorginho probably could get a look in, but I think it's between them two. When Odegaard, Zinchenko are on it, we're laughing, really. So big up that article. Arsenal, the only team in the Premier League this season to have two players who have scored 10-plus league goals, Saka and Martinelli. Oof, look at what we did. Oh, Martinelli, and Saka, hey. This is what we do, man. This is what Arsene Wenger. I hope this is what you provided. Your former player, your Haaland, making things happen. Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard have all scored 30 league goals between them this season. Martinelli has 11, Saka has 10, Odegaard has 9. People. Arsenal averaged more possession in brackets 73.3% and completed more passes 652 versus Everton tonight than in any other Premier League game so far this season. I mean, Google says we've completed more, but it said we completed about 700, but boy, possession has to correlate to goals, which we did. Saka and Martinelli have both scored their 10th league goals of the season tonight. This was obviously yesterday. Arsenal, the only team with 2 players who have reached double figures in the Prem this campaign. Litty. Shout out to Aaron Ramsdale. He now has 11 clean sheets this season. Only Nick Pope with 12 has kept more. Pope has 12 clean sheets from 23 games. Ramsdale has 11 clean sheets from 25. Hopefully, we can get him the Golden Glove this year. Arsenal have scored more goals against Everton than in their previous 6 games against teams managed by Sean Dyche. So maybe we finally cracked the code against specifically Sean Dyche. And it's nice to see our front 4 players, Eddie off the bench, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, they're all scoring, assisting, doing what they need to do because that's what wins games. We can't just rely on one single man, really. And I want to see this next season if we are in the champs. 3 of the 4 highest scoring players in Europe's top 5 leagues this season are aged 21 or younger and are contracted to Arsenal. Balogun's got 15. Martinelli has 11. Bukayo Saka has 10. Musiala's okay. He's got 11. Musiala, I say you join us really and truly. You see what we're cooking over these sides. Anyone could play for Bayern Munich, man. Come and be part of this project. Arsenal have named an unchanged 11 for the 12th time in the Premier League this season, equaling the most games without a change in a single season in the competition. We had 12 in 1996-97. As the comment says there, stability. We're allowing relationships to build. Players are holding on to their spaces by being consistent. Of course, there's been times where people have come in and played their part. Fabio Vieira, for example, against Brentford and Wolves. Obviously, Trossard of late has come in. Jorginho the same. Nelson obviously got injured but come off the bench against Forest. There's been a couple of times, really. You know, Tomiyasu came in against Liverpool. We need the whole squad to play their part, really. So, yeah, Balogun has scored more league goals than any under-21 player in Europe's top 5 divisions this season. Saka has provided more league assists than any under-21 player in Europe's top 5 divisions this season. Starboy stuff, man. Starboy stuff. Shout out Sean Dyche. He admits Arsenal have the look of Premier League champions. I don't know about any of that. Let's just keep working very hard, really and truly. Let's just keep working hard. Specifically, what have they said? And it did look like Sean Dyche was throwing in the towel in the second half early before we got the other two. He said that they played well in the first period, but they couldn't break us down. And that was pleasing for us. Lots of teams have to do that at places like this. That's true. You was frustrating us. You was kind of suffocating us, forcing us backwards. But once we got on it, we got on it. Pick up yourself, Sean Dyche. I actually want Everton to stay up, man. But it is what it is. Or then again, Onana might be available on the cheap, people. Second half, they showed what a side they are. I said to my players, what you got to remember, it's not just about their ability. At the end, they were closing down, they were pressing. They saved one off the line because they're throwing bodies at it. Big up to Zinchenko and Ramsdale, and also Gabriel defensively. That's what wins titles. That's the feeling of a group that wins titles. I'm not saying they've won it by any means. Man City are fantastic, but you look at their work ethic. They knew because they came to Goodison, we would put in a real shift and gathered a way of playing to protect the lead as well and seeing the game through. They, Arsenal, responded. That's what I said to the players. Top teams learn. Now it's about us learning. Big up Sean Dyche, man. Can't say anything in that regards, people. Get Saka to sign that contract now. Winners and losers as Arsenal's main man sparks route against Everton. I mean, Saka signed the deal. You know what? We heard 200 bags. It might just change. You know, I might be saying, boy, you gave Aubameyang this. You gave Ozil this. I'm youngest in charge. He might have to throw a couple more zeros or throw a Bentley in or something. Shout out to Bakayo. We know what Bakayo does. He got a goal and assist. It all counts. Loses. I don't know what Idris Gay was doing. He won the ball back from Odegaard. As I said in my reaction, he must have saw a very nice looking woman in the ground because he was just standing and waiting. Maybe he was contemplating getting her number. Unfortunately for him, Saka and Martinelli were on the scene. Ball in the back of the net. One love for that Idris Gay. Zinchenko, in my opinion, make sure you're voting on YouTube. Man of the match. There is a lot of ones. I can't say Martinelli's not man of the match. He bagged 2 goals. I think he did. I think Gabriel needs to get a hail up. I think Partey's introduction off the bench, but I think it's Zinchenko. He's the nucleus of this football team. Odegaard and Xhaka obviously are playing in midfield and they make things tick along with Zinchenko, but it's Zinchenko, man. You saw what he was doing. Forget the assist. You please go watch the game again and see what the man is doing, really. It's not always going to work, but it was lit from him. You know, we did hear Jorginho wasn't well. I think Jorginho, we had a slow kind of 20, 25 minutes, and I think Jorginho kind of reflected that. I think he ended the first half strong, but he was a bit bandulu. You know, credit to Jorginho because you've done a job and been a fantastic signing like Trossard since you've come into the fray. You know, big up Trossard as well. But if you had to pick a game to kind of be a bit shaky, it was probably this where we've won 4-0, kept a clean sheet and got 3 points. The introduction of Thomas Partey was lit. People say Mikel Arteta delays with subs. I didn't actually think... I'm all for Partey coming on because we know he gives us that safety net and it's like he infects the rest of the players with confidence, really and truly. But I didn't think Jorginho necessarily deserved to be clipped, but we did look a bit shaky on the transition. Partey played. Hopefully with Partey's minutes against Leicester and obviously against Bournemouth with a couple of days training, you know, if Jorginho starts against Bournemouth, respectfully to Bournemouth, we could get away with it. But if Partey is fit, play Partey in it and big up Granit Xhaka because you've kind of been off the ball last few games. I think you got back to your best yesterday, defensively, offensively. Yeah, what we've seen from Xhaka historically and obviously this season as well. So yeah, Jorginho was in trouble yesterday, but it's calm. Martinelli did his thing as well. Bit harsh to call Everton fans losers, but that's their business, really. We'll get into the transfer news in just a second, people. Big up you lot tuned in across YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you're following on both. Smash the like button, people. Mikel Arteta press conference. Press conference. Odegaard review. I'll just call it that. I lost my trailer of thought. Oh yeah, people, 3:30. I'm gonna have some other Arsenal fans here. People, we're gonna have an Arsenal show. I'm sure you lot love my opinions, and I love you lot's opinions. But it'd be nice to hear someone else's. Again, if you're on YouTube, check out the community tab. I've asked you lot for some questions. That will be at 3:30 Saturday. You can see the links being posted. Saturday is obviously Arsenal Bournemouth. We're watching El Clasico together across YouTube and Twitch. Smash the like button on that. All of them, even if you're not going to be here. 1 p.m. For more, I've lost my trail of thought now. Yeah, for more somewhat tactical analysis of the Everton game, I've condensed that and done that for you. So that should be out in half an hour, people. Never miss a beat for you. Like Jack, one love, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope all you Arsenal fans are doing well. Yes, it's true. We beat the same opponent 100 times. It's lit. We need that Aubameyang prop for Saka, sign a new contract, sign the ting. Thoughts on Lavia, baller, a lot to improve, baller. You know, he has, we're going to get into it, but he's been linked with Arsenal as well. Southampton go down. There's a bit of shopping that could be done at Southampton. Lavia's a baller. He fits the remit in being young. I think he'll be a Belgian proper international. He backs himself in possession. There's longevity there. If Lavia wants to sign for Arsenal Football Club, he is more than welcome, really and truly. Lavia's the guy still. I really, really think Lavia's a baller, man. But it might be techie because you have a buyback option potentially, and they have a, what do you call it, a sell-on clause. There's all these sort of things around it, man. Xhaka works hard. New name for the guard is Solar Guard. A gem. He's been lacking a bit lately, but yesterday doing bits again. Norway gang, bro. The class Norwegian, the best Norwegian lad in the Prem. I don't know who that striker is for City. You know, only scored because we gave him them charity goals. Run up the likes like Fuad has said. Trossard and Jesus bring the best out of Martinelli. You know, it's funny. You know, Martinelli doing his thing. All of a sudden, oh, he's not missing Jesus. He was missing Jesus. He's this. He's that. You know how fans like to draw conclusions. Martinelli, the third Brazilian under 21 to score 10 plus in a season. My star boy is breaking records, and that's what we need. You know, and I like to see players in the last 2 games now. Now I'm capping. In 2 of the 3 games, Villa off the bench with Fabio Vieira and Martinelli. Eddie technically getting assists and technically Partey. It's not always the starting 11. You know, you've got to be able to impact the game off the bench in a positive way as well as starting. And I think Martinelli has shown that in the last couple of games. And there's obviously been other occasions where people have done that as well. Trossard initially, and he's played his way into the lineup. And that's what I like with Jorginho and Trossard. They do provide depth. We do probably want to bring in players better than them. So naturally, they're good squad fillers. But, you know, they're Premier League proven, they're experienced, you know, shameless one. Jorginho was third on the Ballon d'Or list and that. Euros winner and them things. They're Champions League and Europa. As much as we said there for the squad, if you're Jorginho doing what you've done, won what you've won, respectfully to his teammates now, Arsenal, you don't want to sit on the bench because you're like 30. It's all fun and games, you know, if you're one of them young G's sitting on the bench for 2-3 years, but these man's careers might be done. Trossard the same. He sat there and said, hang on a minute, I come into this team with 7 goals off Brighton. Arteta knows what I've done because I've done dirt against your team. I hear what you're doing with Martinelli and Eddie and Jesus, but I want to play. Give the manager problems. I know Eddie's got a knock. I'm sure he would want to play Eddie and things like that. Trossard's giving him every reason to start. Martinelli, even when he's come off the bench, he's done well. Saka is Bukayo Saka, and so on and so forth. Man, like Benjamin White said in the aftermath of the game, there's players good enough here to play week in, week out. Make sure it's you in it. So yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards. Xhaka availability, I hear that. Soon 3+ players with 10+. I would, there's 13, 14 games left, so I'm asking for probably too much, but it would be lovely if Smith Rowe could score in all of them, because he had a great season. Certain men think we're trying to run agendas. This is what happens when you think young players are going to be consistent throughout the season. He was going to come back, just needed to kick up the butt. Pause. Zinchenko man of the match for sure. In a nice way, like there's good problems. We'll argue with man of the match because as much as I think Zinchenko's man of the match, I don't quite think Saka, but you could say Saka, you could say Martinelli, you could say a couple of players. I think Gabriel has a chance to get hailed up for that. And obviously Ramsdale didn't have too much to do, but as much as it was a dominating performance and whatnot, we did give them half chances and Ramsdale had to be awake. He deserved his clean sheet yesterday and probably needed a couple more like this season because there's been times we've conceded unnecessarily. Bring Lavia, he's a baller, but City got a buyback for 40 mil, I think. So that's the issue. Shout yourself, Paul. Hey, DG, big up your damn self. Big up you lot and the nation. Hope you and everyone is blessed and well on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I'm at work, so I'm having to use my other account. Big up all the Gooner. Shout the 9-to-5ers. Odegaard, the only player I know who can make a slide tackle look saucy. Hey, what about me in Sunday League? Barnet League and that? Fair enough, though. I knew putting Trossard up front would help Martinelli. His close control and IQ is very underrated. Big up Eddie and Ketty, because he got an assist and it was a good passage of play, people. 46 likes, smash the like button. But Trossard, Jesus, Martinelli, Odegaard, Zinchenko when involved. These men are more, in a nice way, Eddie's more of a traditional striker. These man's games is based on 1-2s, flicks around the corners, third man runs. And when you play with guys like that, don't matter where you're from, what country, what age, obviously these things help, but you understand each other and the partnership is blossoming. You saw towards the end of the first half, Trossard and Martinelli started swapping. Even the relationship between Zinchenko in the build-up to the goals. Zinchenko has seen Saka. Saka's gone into the half space central of the pitch. Martinelli's filled on the right-hand side, and they're both screaming at Zinchenko. And even before that, if I remember correctly, early in and one thing I did like as well was actually the set pieces, because obviously Everton are more physical than us. We know 4-5-1, 2 banks of 4, physical, knock it into the channels, win the first and seconds, see what you can do from set pieces. We know we can't really outmuscle them in that regards. I did like the short set pieces situations. And if I can remember correctly, it might have been Xhaka. I'm pretty sure it was Jorginho, but Zinchenko kind of laid it to Jorginho early in the game. It looked like Jorginho got caught in two minds, whether to go for the shot, whether to pull it back into touch, and it whistled wide. And I don't think Zinchenko was involved. I think it was Odegaard, because initially in the game, before we really broke them down and was harming them in central areas, it was coming from wide areas. Martinelli was making the third man run. Decision-making weren't the best. Odegaard and Saka and Benjamin were cooking stuff on the right-hand side. And I remember, I think Odegaard and Saka were involved. And then Saka's got inside, and it's a scary sight where you think he's going to lace it. He's tried to kind of set up Xhaka for a header, and he's probably seen why that weren't the best option. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of positives. I think we could have defended a tiny bit better, but I'm reaching because we have to reach now. We can't just waffle about what we've done good. We need to focus and go to the next level. Mupe probably could have scored 2-3 in the first half watching the game again, and we could have scored about 7. Trossard unlucky, Eddie unlucky, Saka probably should have went for the effort. Maybe Xhaka could have done better with the header, Jorginho, but you can't score them all in it really. But it's about chasing that illusion of perfection. If we rest on our laurels and get complacent and think we've achieved the damn thing, which we ain't, you know what happens. And I don't think the players and Mikel Arteta will want that. And what I like about the players is Mikel can tell you whatever he wants. You have to take it, really believe it, and really just put some personal pride in your performances. And you're seeing that in how we're scoring goals, in how we're reacting, in how we're putting winning runs, in how we're improving across defensive and offensive metrics. Also, defensively, we still got brain farts, but people are flying it. People are putting their body on the line. At times at Arsenal Football Club, since we've been at the Emirates, players have turned when there's free kicks. Players have kind of cheated and relied on someone else to do their job. And to a degree, football's about how good you are at your worst. And there's been times, not yesterday, but where we haven't been perfect. And sometimes you get what you deserve. You deserve to lose, you lose. Sometimes you deserve to lose, you win and draw and all these things. But 9 times out of 10, when things haven't gone right for us, and they've gone wrong, we've reacted. In previous years, you look at, I don't know, even defeats to City or Fulham where we've made the mistake with Gabriel, if we don't get these results or things don't happen for us, normally fans and the players, it looks like on the pitch, they know that these are going to be the talking points. Now a man makes a mistake, we pick them up, we go again, whether they're missing chances and all these things, man. So it's a joy to watch. It's a joy to watch, man. And on one hand, I love it. On the other hand, now, if I remove my cap off and the fact that I love it, we're now in that territory where we shouldn't necessarily praise players for this, because this comes with the territory now. You don't praise Messi for being consistent. It comes with the territory. That's what we need to now move towards, man. But we're doing what we need to do. Deluded, my guy. Pause. Look at this guy. I feel way more confident we can win the league yesterday after yesterday's game, fam. I don't know about, big up you, look. I don't know. I don't check the league table. I don't know about league shouts and things like that. What I could say is, let's just keep working hard, control the variables we can control. And if there's anything to take advantage of after 38 games in May, we'll see what's going on, bro. But I don't know for league titles and all these things, man. I can't lie to you. I'm not checking the table. Yesterday showed me we can go and blitz teams even if we don't start well. To be fair, we've done that. Villa, you've done that against Villa. We've done that against Leicester at home. We've done that against Brighton. We've done that yesterday. A couple of them games, I said, we probably let ourselves down in certain aspects defensively. So there's many gears we can still aspire to go up. Not a single player there is the finished article, with the exception of the experienced players, which, Trossard, Xhaka, El Nene when fit, Partey, anyone else of that. They're exceptions to the rule. Kind of what they are now as footballers is what they are. Even saying that you can always improve. And Granit showed earlier in the season more so than now that you can always improve. What happens now to Trossard-Nelly issues when Jesus comes back? We need the perfect Xhaka replacement because Vieira and Smith Rowe are Jesus backups to Odegaard. Armstrong, there are multiple players, they can play everywhere. What I would say is, A, it helps us a lot because you don't necessarily, you can kind of, not that I want to ease Gabriel Jesus back in. One love to what Trossard and Martinelli are doing and Eddie previously, but for me, a fit Jesus plays every day of the week. He's the guy. But it means we can ease him in the same way that, you know, Trossard